Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to talk about the Derwent Graphite blocks. I use this every single day for a 30-day drawing challenge, Drawloween, and I sort of wanted to talk about some of the pros of this product and some of the cons. So if you're on the fence about this, or you own it and you don't know what to do with it, or you think, maybe it'd make a great gift for somebody for Christmas, since Christmas is coming up, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. So, I did a first look video where I kind of swatched these 6 colors and then did a little mushroom illustration, and I will link that below. So this is just kind of a continuation on now that I know more and have used and experimented with this product. I would say that the product's strengths are also its weaknesses. So this product is only these 6 colors, and you do have 2 grays. Keep in mind this is a graphite product, so when you put graphite on paper, there is a sort of sheen. It shines. It's not a matte finish. It's very much like a pencil. So if you don't like that in illustrations, this is not the product for you. I think these 2 grays are kind of redundant. I would have actually just kept the darker one, and then that way folks could learn how to be not so heavy-handed, so they don't need the lighter one. And I would have added a pale ochre, sort of similar to the one that is in the charcoal set that looks like this. I would have added an ochre graphite one, so there was a lighter color instead of the 2 grays. But otherwise, you can get some interesting mixes. So you are limited to this shade range, and for those of us that get sort of decision fatigue, where there's just an overwhelming amount of colors and choices and options, this is a really good product for that. Because this is all you get. And when you combine them all together, there is a really nice natural flow. I would say that this brown actually skews kind of a yellow undertone, but when you add a little red to it, or you can add a little of this Prussian blue, you can really change the feel of the brown. They can be combined, they can be layered. Some issues I had with layering, and I'm going to show you pieces from my sketchbook that I painted. And I have a sketchbook tour. I did this yesterday, this sketchbook tour. So I'll link that below if you want to see that. And I'll link all the products I'm discussing. So what I did for this illustration of a hooded patooey, which is a poisonous bird, is I laid down a layer of this Prussian blue, and then I went on top with the dark gray. Now, when you paint a layer of this graphite, you get a solid, it coats the page. Now this is hot press paper and this is cold press, so the cold press has the texture. But once it's coated, it's on there, and when you go to add another layer, the second layer has nothing to stick to. So the graphite won't stick to other graphite. Even if you spray the first layer a bunch with a spray fixative, and you absolutely have to with this product, because there is still transfer. This is the one I used. It does pencils and charcoal. I apologize if that's a little blurry. Here's the spray fixative I used for this book. The gray didn't stick. It looks like it's on there, but if you touch it, it comes off. So the blue layer is adhered, the gray one is not. If I were to do a very light, pale swaths of color onto the page and then layer those up, they would all adhere. But something this opaque does not. So this specific painted on swatch of this beautiful color right here has been sprayed twice with fixative. And you can still, it still comes off. So when you paint really thick and opaquely with these, just keep in mind there's going to be transfer. So with this book, I didn't paint the opposing page, and that kind of helped. Here is the brown within that set with a light watercolor wash of indigo. Now, if you're just laying down one thick layer, this product can take a ton of other product overlapping. So if you do a layer of the graphite, and then a layer of watercolor, and then on one of these, I did a third layer. I'm going to show you what I did because I wanted to see like how you could build this up. So for this illustration, there is a layer of the graphite, there's a layer of watercolor, and then I went on top of that with a white ink pen. So you can continue to layer, and because there's only one layer really thick of this, you can keep going. So it does take other product well, it does take charcoal well, it takes colored pencil well, it takes tons and tons of other products layered on top of it. It's just when you get this opaque, it becomes very difficult to keep layering its own product on top of itself. So you could grind down corners, put that pigment into a little watercolor well, add a second one, and create other colors. You could mix them and then just create watercolor washes from this. Just know that they do have a little sheen to them. They do behave like graphite. So one of the other things about this product is the fact that it comes in a huge stick. And when speaking to Derwent, which I don't always get to do, but I do love calling companies and asking them a billion questions, this is very, very similar to the Graphite watercolor boxes that they have that are sort of plastic with little tiny square watercolors in them. I'll link that product below if you want to know what I'm talking about. It's a Graphite. This doesn't travel well. This is really heavy, it's cumbersome. Yes, it is a great packaging. The foam is very firm. I am not worried about these items breaking, but I would not take these camping, backpacking, hiking, just because out of fear of them getting crushed. And this is very heavy. This is just too heavy. So if you're wondering, well, should I get something like this or should I go for that little watercolor pan, maybe consider the pan because it's lighter weight. I don't know. The other thing is if you work big, these are perfect. These are perfect for folks that work huge, that want to combine these within canvases or illustrations of that format. If you're thinking it's too big, like can you go small? You could. You can work smaller. It's just how much control you have with your paintbrush when you go to paint something. So if you go to paint a face on here, how much control do you have with tiny paintbrushes? And if you don't feel comfortable working small, if that's not something for you, then this whole idea is kind of moot and it doesn't really matter. But you can go small. You just need a very, very small paintbrush to do so. And then you can, I mean, there's tons of things you can do with this. This can be, you know, kind of the hair for the face. You can use these like a full chalk. And the Prussian blue is beautiful. These all have a light fast rating. These were tested on the blue wool scale. They all have a light fast rating of 8. I would feel more comfortable with that independently testing that myself, but as we are approaching wintertime, it would have to be a full calendar year of me testing a strip of swatches in the window to be able to back up that claim. If you're wondering what the blue wool scale is, I have a video about it. So they are apparently incredibly light fast. You can, if you're thinking, well, I don't like working that dark, I like working really, really light, I like working pastels, you can do these lighter. You don't have to go super hard in with these colors. That's something I did for my project because I was doing something Halloween, and I just really like this. Is sort of like a Terra Rosa color, and I really like them painted on that way. Otherwise, they can be very crumbly. They do crumble. They are dry. And these retail in the US, I have seen anywhere from US $27 to $33. If you buy them in a set, I believe it's more affordable. I don't think they have singles of this one yet. It's just the charcoal 6-block version. Oh no, they do have singles. I apologize. They do have singles on Blick. I'll link those too. So I believe they're about $6 US dollars a piece. If you just want to try one, like if there's one color you're absolutely in love with and you want to give that a try and incorporate it into mixed media with your watercolor, your charcoal, your colored pencil, it'd be a lot of fun. I wouldn't take these outside and sidewalk chalk with them. They're too costly. They cost too much. And dry, they crumble really fast. But you could take these little shards and make a watercolor color with them. Water them down. And here, let me take some. Here's some of my indigo from my previous project. And you can paint on top of them. And it looks nice. The washes look nice, and I don't have any problem with the washes lifting or the ink lifting. So that's not, the fixative holds fine for the other products on top, in case you were worried. But if you want to increase the amount of colors you have, you could mix them with other product. That's a really dark wash, by the way. But they lift. See how much they lift? This is kind of now a demo, isn't it? But if you thin it out, you can create other colors with it. That is an option. I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.